On Billboard tonight, best-selling author Lynette Creswell, Oscar-nominated actor Joaquin Phoenix, and award-winning artist Deborah Geddes. Welcome to Billboard with me, Ted Stanley, for a roundup of theatre, music, arts and literature in East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. First, a triple treat for theatregoers in Yorkshire. Tony Barker has been pussyfooting around in Beverley, where members of the local theatre company are grinning like Cheshire cats.
The play is all about the Moonwalk, which takes place in London every year, organised by a charity called Walk the Walk, that help to raise funds for breast cancer awareness and care. The play is called The Cheshire Cats because the actual ladies in it are supposedly from Cheshire, and they have to come up with a team name and they decide on the Cheshire Cats. Simple as that. It's probably a smaller play and obviously not as well known as the big sitcoms that we've done. But in recent years, particularly with our November play, we've looked at trying to do our bit for charity. And with this, obviously, it's cancer awareness.
Come on, Siobhan, for God's sake, keep up, will you? It's important we all keep on target, you know.
You can see Cheshire Cats at Beverley Memorial Hall from the 13th to the 16th of November. Tickets from the Tourist Information Office. Outside the Box and 40 Winks Beauty from the Market Weighton Community Players features Trouble in the Toy Box and a spoof pantomime. Tony Barker found out more from director Noreen Thorpe.
And Christmas is just around the corner.
Well, in that particular scene, the fairy has just announced that one of them is going to be made redundant. In fact, probably sent along to the charity shop.
But these are toys though, it's harsh, isn't it?
It is harsh, but I suppose it reflects real life in that respect. So yes, they don't know yet which toy she's selected. So there's a little bit of discussion and they're all a bit frightened because they really don't know who's going to be going.
Now this is a double bill of comedy, let's hope the other one's even more cheerful then. So well, I guess we're going to laugh at both, are we?
Well, I hope so, yes. The panto is a shortened version. I mean, the York Theatre Royal are actually doing Sleeping Beauty. Well, we're doing 40 Winks Beauty. And it only lasts about 20-25 minutes. But it's based loosely on the real story of Sleeping Beauty with a little twist.
Who is this, with face so fierce and eyes as black as pitch? It's the wicked fairy Maud, a nasty-tempered witch.
The comedy double bill runs from the 7th to the 9th of November at Shipton Thorpe Village Hall. Email or telephone for tickets. Celebrating 100 years of drama, the Cottingham Little Theatre Company recently released details of their centenary programme. Tony Barker joined in the celebrations.
As we have so many productions coming up during the next 18 months, it has been decided there will be one big audition. This will take the form of a selection from plays and monologues, and the entire afternoon of Sunday the 8th of December has been set aside for this. All the directors of every production we have planned will be there. There'll be plenty of roles for everyone, whether acting, backstage, front of house, technical support. We'll be sending out more information about this nearer the time. Please keep the date in your diaries.
Full details of the centenary year productions from cottinghamlittletheatre.co.uk. Children's author Sarah Smith is inviting other local authors to join her at the launch of a new illustrated children's book, Who's Afraid of the Dark? Not Me. The event is in Grimsby on the 23rd of November. For more information, email sarahsmithdesigner@gmail.com. Now, hear from sunny Spain, Hugh Riches with news of more new book releases.
Thanks, Ted. John le Carré's 25th novel, Agent Running in the Field, is a tale of espionage in the age of Brexit and Trump. Our hero, an aging spy with a demanding family, is given one last set of agents to run and a tough puzzle to crack in Ukraine and Russia. His priorities, his loyalties, are tested as he reassesses the values of the country he serves. It's a thrilling story, often funny, but the 87-year-old author is clearly angry with our politics and our politicians. Debbie Harry's memoir, Face It, is well named because the actress and Blondie singer will always be recognised for her beauty. This memoir reveals a deeper art, a life of druggy punk in the 70s, musical experiment, 30 starring film roles, 50 million albums sold, near bankruptcy, near death, a muse for great artists and an inspiration for philosophers. Still beautiful in her 70s, Harry here reveals her inner challenges and reflections, and there is still plenty of drugs, sex, and rock and roll. Out now in paperback, Tombland, the 7th in C.J. Sansom's series of novels about his Tudor hunchback detective Matthew Shardlake, is as exciting and fascinating as ever. He must solve an aristocratic murder in the turbulent reign of Edward VI, deciding his own loyalties as the peasantry revolts. Sansom never disappoints. Tombland is an intriguing mystery and a masterful evocation of political danger 400 years ago. In Prisoners of Geography, Our World Explained in 12 Simple Maps, Tim Marshall offers a children's guide to history and how it's shaped by seas, mountains, natural resources, and man-made frontiers. In a way easily accessible to children and curious adults, this little atlas shows the course of history defined by the course of a river. And quite apart from any tiresome education in this book, the maps are beautiful. Salud, Ted.
Adios, Hugh, te veo pronto. Still on a literary theme, best-selling author Lynette Creswell joined me earlier to talk about getting published and changing genre. So you first became famous for your young adult fiction novels. Your first novel was Singers of Magic, and the character Crystal in Singers of Magic became very popular. Tell us about Crystal.
Crystal really seemed to strike a note with a lot of the young readers. I think because she's only 16 and the fact obviously she's still learning about life, it's just a story that was inside me that was waiting to come out. I think a lot of writers are like that. They have this story and they don't quite know what they're doing, but this was what I wanted to do.
And then you went on and moved on to start writing romance novels.
I know, quite strange that really, isn't it? But the reason for that actually was quite surprising because a lot of my readers for my fantasy books were women who were older women, and they said to me, oh, we really love your stories, but what about something for us that we can really get into? And I thought, well, that's a bit of a challenge, you know, I actually fancy doing that. So I kind of switched genres and did the 2 romance novels.
What advice would you give to writers who want to sort of make a name for themselves and get published?
Yeah, you've got to be determined and you've got to believe in what you write. But also, if you want to look up from a writer's point of view, start looking at movies, put on the actual subtitles, see how the dialogue's written. You know, that will help you to write your book.
Now, you've only recently moved to the area, to Immingham.
That's right, yes.
And you've got involved in a local project for writing in the communities, I understand, the Lincolnshire Writers Project.
The project is actually part of from Hammond House, and it's also helped by lottery funding. And what it is, the actual area, we're trying to get more writers in the area. I think we've got about 10 groups so far, and Immingham didn't really have anything like that. So when I actually saw that this project was starting, I was like, this is really exciting. So it is to give back to the community, but also to help new writers start on that ladder. We have other authors come in to do workshops. And we also are working towards doing a piece of work which is a short story, which hopefully when we've actually finished it all will be in an anthology.
Great.
Fabulous.
And that will be published.
Yes, and that will be published, which is great for any writer.
Lynette, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure to hear someone who's been successful in what they do and is now prepared to spend the time helping other people be successful.
Thank you very much. It's been lovely to be here. Thank you.
All Lynette's books, including her new illustrated children's books, are available from Amazon. Details of the Lincolnshire Writers Groups from lincolnshirewriters.com. There's a packed programme of live music around the region this month, and here with some of the highlights, Billboard's very own songbird, Kirsty Hannah.
Known as the fastest band in the world, Grammy-nominated extreme power metal band Dragonforce will be appearing at the Wellion Hall on Sunday the 3rd of November. And if you like bold and riotous modern folk rock with earth-shattering riffs and driving dance rhythms, you can see Blackbeard's tea party at the New Adelphi Club on Friday the 8th of November.
All my parents taught me well as I sailed, as I sailed. Parents taught me well as I sailed. All my parents taught me well as I sailed, as I sailed.
Tommy Sands is a singer-songwriter and social activist from County Down who has achieved legendary status as the most powerful songwriter in Ireland. He will be at Grimsby Folk Club on Sunday the 17th of November.
Stronger than the guns of thunder, even when we're torn asunder, love will come again.
Explosively energetic Scottish firebrands Talisk bring their artfully woven sound to the Ropery Hall in Barton on Saturday the 23rd of November. Seamlessly melding concertina, fiddle and guitar, they have been captivating audiences from the USA to Australia. Also at the Ropery Hall, the Budapest Café Orchestra play a blistering barrage of traditional folk and gypsy music from across the Balkans, Russia, Romania and Hungary. You can see them on Thursday the 28th of November. Tribute band Very Santana recreate the unique sound of the legendary guitarist at Moon on the Water in Cleethorpes on Saturday the 2nd of November. And finally, Grammy Award winner Anthony Harty, the original bass player and occasional guitarist in the Style Council, has joined a stellar lineup of musicians to form From the Style Council, keeping the music of this iconic band alive. You can see them at the Moon on Saturday the 30th of November.
Founded in the early 70s by cornet player John Padden, the New Orleans Jazz Club in Louth was dedicated to this musical form. In recent years, the club has widened its appreciation to include all forms of the jazz genre. I went along to see legendary saxophone player Snake Davis and meet club chairman Pete Hazeldine. Sarah Beasley went to New Orleans to trace the origins of this unique style of jazz.
Jazz started here in Storyville and mixed with all the different societies, back at the turn of the last century, and we perform music nightly here on the riverboat, all different kinds.
I'm from Billboard TV in Lincolnshire, England, and there's a little town called Louth, and they have a jazz band there.
Excellent.
And they would love to hook up with you, I'm sure.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
The club specialises in jazz in the old style of New Orleans. This was at the insistence of John, the club's founder, and he had a very strict interpretation of what could and could not be played in this club. That rule eventually backfired on itself. Well, I mean, with the advent of, dare one say, television and other forms of entertainment, there's a lot of competition now for people's evenings. If we got back 5 or 6 years, the club was virtually on its knees. We decided we needed to open up a little bit and widen the scope of what we put on.
And you've certainly got a full house tonight, haven't you?
Certainly have. Snake Davis is very, very popular in this area.
I love these small spaces. I mean, this place it's like time has stood still. It's got wonderful atmosphere, always great people, respectful listening audience, and an atmosphere all of its own. So I mean, to me, this is my favourite kind of venue, small and wonderful.
It's much more intimate and much, it's quite impersonal playing in a big place. So for us, as from a musical perspective, it's really nice to be close and connect to the audience. Particularly here, I know this place has a real history, and the walls are covered in incredible sort of evocative photographs of times gone by. It's fantastic, and it feels great to be kind of continuing that on.
This friendly club is open every Saturday evening to members and guests. Further information from louthjazzclub.org.uk. And you can see Snake Davis at the Hull Truck Theatre on Saturday the 26th. The new album of soulful melodic music is available from snakedavis.rocks. After the break, Passing Strangers in Yorkshire, Abstract Art in Lincolnshire, and a heartwarming adventure in Film Review.
One organisation can't make communities safe from fire, from floods, from emergency situations. It needs to be a whole community response, and we see the Blue Light Brigade as a good opportunity to do that.
It's a group of individuals, some are ex-emergency services, some ex-armed forces, some are just community members. They receive a level of training which gives them a little bit more knowledge than their neighbours may have. And so we can then assist emergency services.
Whether you're an ex-service officer or a conscientious local resident, you too can play an important role in the safety and well-being of your community as a proud member of the Blue Lights Brigade. Coming up on tonight's show, Ghost Walks in Barton, Eva Perron in Lincoln, and retro band La Bella. But first, a warm welcome back to the original class act, David Wrightam, with our review of the latest film releases.
On Film Review tonight, Manos, an eagerly awaited new feature from Alejandro Landes, The Heartwarming Peanut Butter Falcon, and The Last Black Man in San Francisco. But first, Joker, written and directed by Todd Phillips. It's a bleak and violent story of Batman's arch nemesis struggling to find his way in Gotham's fractured society, charting his path to the dark side. An Oscar-worthy performance from Joaquin Phoenix lifts this film to another level with moments of bravery and brilliance.
Murray, one small thing.
Yeah.
When you bring me out, can you introduce me as Joker?
A winner in the 2019 Sundance Festival, Manos, co-written and directed by Alejandro Landes, is a survivalist saga and mesmerising portrayal of human fragility. When a young group of soldiers and rebels are ambushed in the remote hills of South America, both their mission and the intricate bonds between the group begin to disintegrate. Order descends into chaos, and the strong begin to prey on the weak in this vivid cautionary tale. Poetic and picturesque, The Last Black Man in San Francisco explores class, race, male friendship, and gentrification in this most charismatic of American cities. Jimmy is joined by his best friend Mont in a quest to reclaim the Victorian home of his grandfather and search for belongings in a rapidly changing city that seems to have left them behind.
To leave is not your loss. It's San Francisco.
I don't know how much longer we can keep doing this. But I'm not leaving. I'm the last one left. I'm with you, brother.
The Peanut Butter Falcon is a heartwarming adventure that follows in the footsteps of Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn. Zach Gossenberg stars as a young man with Down syndrome who runs away from a residential home to follow his dreams of becoming a professional wrestler. He is joined by a small-time outlaw, Shia LaBeouf, on a journey through the scenic deltas of South Carolina, catching fish, drinking whiskey, finding God, and persuading a nursing home employee, Dakota Johnson, to join their adventure.
So how far is it?
About that far on the map.
Are your fingers to scale?
Yep.
I think it's time for us to go back now.
We could be a family.
Friends are the family you choose.
Wrestlers got alter egos. You need a name.
Falcon. Peanut Butter Falcon!
Our family film this month is the first animated comedy about the cookiest family on the block, the Addams Family. It's funny, outlandish, and completely iconic as they redefine what it means to be a good neighbour.
Yuck. I've done this thousands of times.
Give my creature! Live! I tell
you, totally awesome.
On DVD and Blu-ray, 3 films with Sammo Hung from Eureka Entertainment, Eating Raoul from Criterion Collection, and Nightbreed from Arrow Video are also worth a look.
You can watch a full review of Joker by film critic Joe Fuller on our YouTube channel, and David is currently rehearsing his new play Coffin Dodgers, which premieres at the Parkway Cinema in December. Details on the Class Act Facebook page. In other theatre news, the Petuaria Players in Bruff are staging Passing Strangers by Eric Chappell. Tony Barker met up with producer Jane Hewson.
You can't expect them to be in mint condition. It's the second time round for most of them, but they have been carefully screened.
The context of the play is that 2 women go out for a singles night, and so do the 2 men. The 2 women, one woman's absolutely ecstatic about going out with it, but out on it, but the other woman is a bit reluctant, and she's just gone along because it's her best friend. And basically the same with the men, sort of like one man's quite happy to be there, sort of like, you know, see what he can get, and the other one's, you know, his wife's just left him, he's depressed, he's a pathetic man, bless him, he's just, you know, going along with it, he really doesn't want to.
Look, Mal, what have I done to me?
Yeah, we know what you've had done to you. I'm just sick of hearing about it, that's all.
It's all right for you.
Passing Strangers is at the Ellerton Village Hall from the 24th to the 25th of October. Tickets from petuariaplayers.com. Retro band La Bella are touring the region as part of the Artery and Live Links initiative to bring cultural experiences to rural communities. Tony Barker went to meet them.
We are a trio of travelling musicologists who travel all around the country, giving lectures to people who come to see the show, all about our travels around the world and our adventures. It's really a fun family show in the style of a boy's own adventure tale, crossed with, well, with a little bit of James Bond thrown in and a little bit of, I don't know, Gardener's Question Time and all sorts of different mad things. So it's really just good family fun and very, very silly.
Okay, help me pronounce the name of your show then, because it's the lost chord of
Ulaanbaatar.
I knew I needed help.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's really about our main adventure of how the 3 chaps got together, how they found each other, and were catapulted onto their first adventure, which was to find the mystical and magical lost chord of Ulaanbaatar. As I said, it involves their travels all across Europe and Asia to find this mystical thing, and we tell the story through theatre, but also through music and comedy, and it's really just us having a lot of fun.
You can see tour dates and venues at labellaband.co.uk. Other Lives Theatre Company is also touring the region with Landmarks, the story of change in the farming world of the 1930s. Tony Barker caught up with director Richard Avery.
There's a play called Landmarks that'll be touring from the end of October. The director is Richard Avery. Richard, this is a production you're very familiar with from some years ago, isn't it?
Absolutely. I was in Landmarks at the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s, and it remains one of the most enjoyable things I've done. And I've always wanted to do it again. And now I've got a chance to do it as the director. It was good stuff. Wilf, the older guy, he's a traditional farmer, and his brother-in-law is a modern, so he thinks he's a modern farmer. And his modernity is in the form of buying a tractor. Now, Wilf still ploughs with horses. So it's all about the advent of mechanisation in the 1930s. And it's set in Cheshire. And Wilf is absolutely against the tractor. Because for him, ploughing is about walking behind a horse. And he gets an acre a day done, which for him is fine. But Totty, his brother-in-law, a younger man, he can do 4 acres a day. Badly, as it turns out. So they're at loggerheads. They're at loggerheads because of the change in farming. And also their personalities. They're chalk and cheese. They clash all the time.
You can see Landmarks in 18 venues across Yorkshire and Lincolnshire from the 25th of October. Details from otherlives.org.uk. And from Landmarks to Landscapes in the Spurn Autumn Arts Festival at Spurn Point, featuring a new exhibition of poetic landscapes of the Spurn on Wednesday the 20th of November. More information on our next show. Now, with a review of other art exhibitions around the region, here's actress and broadcaster Liz Drury.
You can see a preview of Nena Carlu's exhibition Rapping at the Humber Street Gallery in Hull on Saturday the 2nd of November. Nena's colourful sculptures are created by layering and binding everyday materials to construct a series of large-scale sculptures which playfully wrap around the gallery, responding to the unique architecture of the project space. Bondage and Liberation, an exhibition in Lincoln Castle's Victorian prison, brings together iconic pieces of footwear and clothing by design of Vivienne Westwood and the Sex Pistols mural by radical artist and activist Jamie Reid. The work of Westwood and Reid, which epitomised the 1970s punk movement, a seminal moment in British cultural history, which was before my time I might add, can be seen until the 16th of November. Treasures from London's V&A and National Portrait Gallery feature in a blockbuster exhibition in Lincoln's Cultural Quarter to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert. Exhibits include the first ever Christmas card and paintings by Sir Edwin Henry Landseer, Queen Victoria's favourite artist and chief portraitist of the royal family. The neighbouring Usher Gallery will host works from the National Portrait Gallery, including familiar faces such as Sir Robert Peel and Henry John Temple, 3rd Viscount Palmerston, as well as art from its own collection. The exhibition runs from the 5th of October to the 5th of January. Also in Lincoln, the Sam Scorer Gallery features Lines Across Lincolnshire, a multimedia exhibition of work by Denise Hawthorne and friends, inspired by the county's rich and varied landscape. And at the Riverhead Gallery in Louth, an exhibition of new work by abstract artist Deborah Geddes. She continues her exploration of abstracted images, this time inspired by the natural landscape, as the familiar becomes unfamiliar in a journey to discover the essence and meaning of nature. The exhibition runs until the end of November.
You can join Liz and the rest of the South Bank Players for the Barton Halloween Ghost Walk on the 31st of October. Hear tales to make your hair stand on end as you explore the back lanes and alleyways. The walk starts at 7:30 prompt from Baysgarth House Museum. Dressing up is encouraged and Liz recommends you bring a torch and a friend. Tickets and details from sbplayers.co.uk or call 01469 531 003. The seaside town of Cleethorpes has hosted a variety of seasonal festivals to entertain both residents and visitors. The season closed with a spectacular Festival of the Sky.
I suppose my ethos around festivals is about accessibility. You know, I think for an event like this, we wanted to make it free, we wanted to make it public, we wanted to make it engaging. We're trying to get to a place where everybody feels that they can be an artist, actually. You don't have to just rock up and watch, you can get in and among, and it's something that we try to build into the blueprint of Festival of the Sky.
You can see the full festival documentary on our YouTube channel. And the National Lottery Heritage Fund has now commissioned a series of documentaries that will celebrate the history of festivals in Cleethorpes from their origins in Victorian times to present day. If you've been involved in organising festivals, or maybe remember enjoying them as a child, the producers would love to hear from you. Email your details to info@hammondhouse.org.uk. Celebrations are also making news in Lincoln as CAODS, the County Amateur Operatic and Dramatic Society, commemorate their 70th anniversary by staging one of the greatest musicals of all time at the new Theatre Royal. Evita, featuring a 19-piece orchestra and cast of over 40 actors, including our very own Jeannine Ridha, is one of the most ambitious amateur productions ever seen in the region. The show runs from the 8th to the 16th of November, tickets from the theatre box office. Now, with a roundup of other entertainment news around the region, here's Jeannine Ridha with box office. So, how are rehearsals for Evita going, Jeannine?
Oh, fantastic, thanks Ted. Challenging, but it's going to be a great show. In the meantime, set in 1930s Cheshire, Landmarks at the East Riding Theatre in Beverley from the 2nd to the 6th of November is a funny and thought-provoking story which has something important to say about our present concerns for the environment. And on the 14th of November, 60s pop icon Kiki D is joined by guitarist Camillo Lugeri in a stripped-back acoustic session of music from Kate Bush, Frank Sinatra and of course Kiki's own hits.
Nobody knows it, but right from the start, I gave you my heart. Whoa.
At the Riverhead Theatre in Louth, entertainer Adrian Lee is running a circus skills workshop for children 7 and older on Thursday the 24th of October. Adrian promises a fabulous fun day, learning, juggling, plate spinning and even tightrope walking. And on Monday the 11th of November, Spitfire Solo, starring Nicholas Collette, commemorates the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. Theatre music and film combine to tell a charming, funny and inventive tale of one man's battle for survival.
Well, we stopped the invasion.
Don't know where.
Sometimes I think about the mates I lost, but they're friendly ghosts.
But I know we'll meet again on sunny.
They do rise to the challenge.
Also in Louth, a rare chance to see a retro-inspired rock and roll band, She Waddy Waddy, at Louth Town Hall on Saturday, the 2nd of November. And the Concert Society's season of classical music continues at the Salvation Army Hall on Thursday, the 7th of November, with Romanian pianist Alexandra Vadufa performing Brahms, Janicek and Schubert. At Grimsby Auditorium, The Snow Queen on the 28th of October is a magical experience for the whole family, when an ensemble of actor musicians, illusion and puppetry bring to life timeless Hans Christian Andersen story that inspired Frozen. Also in Grimsby, acting worlds collide in A Bunch of Amateurs as Hollywood meets Amdram at the Caxton Theatre until the 26th of October. Tickets from the theatre box office.
There's a great deal of slapstick comedy, but there's also an awful lot of heartfelt, poignant scenes threaded throughout. Byron plays Jefferson Steele, the fading Hollywood hero.
Can I just ask first, did you pick me because of my ageing qualities or my
good luck qualities.
Oh, no.
Which I don't have, of course.
On Wednesday, the 30th of October, you can spend an evening with Sir Lenny Henry in Who Am I Again at Hull New Theatre, or enjoy toe-tapping songs and lots of laughs for the whole family when the Snow Dragon visits the Hull Truck Theatre. At the Baths Hall in Scunthorpe, you can join comedian Josh Widdicombe for his brand new stand-up tour on Sunday the 3rd of November. And on Thursday the 7th of November, Katie Markham sings the Adele songbook in Someone Like You.
Wondering if after all these years it likes me.
Well, that's almost all for this month's show. You can keep up to date with the latest entertainment news on our Facebook page, and to make sure you don't miss any of our programmes, click the subscribe button below. If you would like us to feature your own event on Billboard TV, you can email details to news@billboardtv.uk. From everyone on the Billboard team, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next month with more entertainment news, entertaining guests and great music.
I was wondering if after all these years it likes me. I said to the rain, watch your paws on, touch your face. When I go, will I cry? 'Cause I heard it screaming out your name, your name.
I'll end up looking like the Joker if you do that. I'll be like,
It's on the programme, right? So that's okay.
Okay.
Manos, an eagerly awaited new feature from Alejandro Land.
Cultural Quarter to celebrate the 200th. Sorry.
The productions from
And Schubert. Sorry, I got it right, didn't I?
Alejandro.
It's the most powerful songwriter in Ireland. Ireland.
The Peanut Butter Falcon is a heart.
Someone Like You.